At 6, a new round of federal funding is set to help small businesses affected by devastating floods back in August. I'm Angelo Bavaro, live in Southbury this morning with all the details on how you can apply.
A bankruptcy announcement from a Los Angeles-based company now has state lawmakers scrambling to keep healthcare alive in eastern Connecticut. I'm Stephen Reels, and coming up, I'll break down the latest with Prospect Medical Holdings.
Also, now more people have died in those wildfires burning across areas of Los Angeles. We'll tell you what's being done to help those in need right now, as firefighters are still facing an uphill battle.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, it is 6 o'clock on the dot on this Monday morning, and a good morning to you. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 61. I'm Tim Lammers.
And I'm Symphony Privet. We hope you guys had a great weekend and you're ready to start fresh on this Monday. Let's check in with meteorologist Matt Scott. What's on tap on this Monday?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's quiet.
Yeah.
Wow, what a treat.
No, not me. The weather.
Oh, I know.
It was nice yesterday. It was nice.
It was.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
The teenager and I actually did some yard work outside, just a little light clean, taking advantage of finally some milder temperatures to get some stuff cleaned up. It was good. Calm and quiet start to the week. Temperatures mild, some sunshine. Some clouds out there this morning, but a bright full moon. Winds returning Wednesday. We'll talk about a colder forecast. See if that brings us any trouble coming up. Cloud and radar perspective around the board is looking pretty good. There's nothing going on. Very light wind. Look at the temperatures. 27 in Hartford, 28 in New Haven, 23 in Groton, 26 in Torrington. That's not bad, but the winds are taking a big, oh, wait, they're not. Their winds are fairly calm, so what you see is what you feel on the thermometer this morning. That's a nice change of pace, isn't it? Temperatures getting into the 30s later on today. I think it's going to be a little warmer than that. I think it's actually a nice day ahead. Numbers looking pretty good. We'll talk about that in detail, have a look at the temperatures that are going to slide just a little bit, see if we can find any snow. That's coming up in just a few minutes. 6:02 for the first time on this Monday morning. I get to say hello to my partner in crime, the Robin to my Batman, Rachel Piscatelli.
I like that. Good morning, Matt. We are looking good across the board here at this hour. We didn't have any incidents earlier, and we still don't have that now. So things are running smoothly on the board. We had some earlier road work over in Rocky Hill, both directions that has cleared for the morning commute. Madison on 95 as well as New Haven. We have light volume in Hartford as you're running into downtown. Looks good too. So your city-to-city drive times here, New Haven to Hartford, is a 33 to 34-minute drive. Tim and Symphony, good morning.
And a good morning to you. A new round of federal funding is set to help small businesses that were affected by severe flooding in August.
Yeah, the Small Business Administration will meet with local leaders in hard-hit Southbury this morning to talk details. Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro joins us live at Southbury Town Hall with what you need to know. Angelo.
Hey, good morning, guys. And this is where officials are set to meet later this morning at 10:30. They're going to highlight that recently approved funding that you just talked about that will allow the Small Business Administration to resume processing financial relief for any businesses in this area still recovering and really just devastated by those floods that happened back in August. Now, remember, President Biden did approve a major disaster declaration in response to those floods, and that opens the door to a wide range of federal help from agencies like the SBA and FEMA. This new round of funding, this comes from passage of the American Relief Act. That became law in December. That law funnels money to U.S. Small Business Administration's disaster loan program. That program exhausted its funding back in October. However, the SBA continued to accept and process disaster loan applications, queuing approved applications for funding once additional resources became available. Now, officials tell us there are dozens of pending claims. Applications for those disaster loans are still available. You can find more information about how to apply on our website, the links page. That is fox61.com. And some important dates to mark on your calendar if you're part of a small business, want to apply for these loans. This Sunday, January 19th, you want to apply for those physical damage claims, and then June 20th for economic injury claims. We're live in Southbury this morning. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61.
Angelo, thank you for that report. The wildfires in greater Los Angeles have now killed at least 24 people since Tuesday. They've destroyed more than 12,000 homes and businesses, and they've burned at least 67 square miles of land. And by the time they're done, this could collectively be the costliest natural disaster in U.S. history, according to some early estimates. At least 16 people are missing, too, on top of all that, and that number is expected to go up. Now, as for firefighters, they did use some calmer weather over the last few days to make some headway in fighting the Palisades, Eaton, and Hearst fires. But the Santa Ana winds that whipped those fires up in the first place are expected to strengthen again this week. Now, on Fox News Sunday, federal emergency officials spoke about how people in L.A. can get help.
Want to make sure that they start that process by, one, registering for assistance at disasterassistance.gov, but also contacting their insurance company, because we'll need to know exactly what they are going to cover, but more importantly, not cover, so they can be eligible for different programs within our system.
Vice President-elect J.D. Vance talked about the efforts to help people impacted by the wildfires.
Our hearts go out to everybody who's been affected by the storms. I've seen some of these videos of people where, folks have lived in those homes for 25, 30, 35 years and everything is gone. And whatever your political affiliation, it's hard not to see those images and just be heartbroken for our fellow Americans who are going through a very tough time. And I do think, frankly, the federal government has to do a better job. President Trump is committed to doing a better job when it comes to disaster relief.
Community members, meanwhile, are joining forces to help their neighbors in need. Some surviving churches opened their doors to worshipers from other congregations.
The church is not a building. The church is the people, and the church can worship anywhere.
Yeah, you can see just how much help they need there. So organizations like the American Red Cross, AmeriCares, and Save the Children are all there on the ground working to help impacted families. On top of that, Disney said it will donate $15 million to help with the relief efforts across the Los Angeles area. The company said it's giving that money to the Red Cross, the LA Fire Department Foundation, and the LA Regional Food Bank. Disney said it's committed to supporting its community and employees who need help recovering from the devastation.
6:07 now. Governor Ned Lamont plans to speak today about the announcement that Prospect Medical Holdings filed for bankruptcy. The company owns 3 hospitals in our state. Fox 61's Stephen Reels shares what this means for patients and communities who rely on these centers.
Sunday morning brought shocking news to the Connecticut healthcare system when several people woke up to find out Prospect Medical Holdings had filed for bankruptcy. This now puts the future of the Eastern Connecticut Health Network into question. And with 53 listed locations in the state, lawmakers are doing what they can to keep healthcare in the community. Leaders quickly reacted, like State Senator Jeff Gordon, State Senator Saud Anwar, and Burnham Mayor Dan Champagne, who said this news was not unexpected. However, Champagne assured the community work was already being done to keep things as normal as possible. In an email to Fox 61, the mayor said, quote, "The key thing for our communities to know is that Eastern Connecticut Health Network will continue to care for patients and provide the medical care our communities have come to rely on. Patient care is still #1 for ECHN," end quote. The Vernon mayor among those in conversation with hospital and state leaders, including Governor Ned Lamont and Attorney General William Tong, who both sounded off following the news Sunday morning. Both vowed to hold Prospect accountable in their obligation to provide quality care to Connecticut communities. In an email to our newsroom, the governor told us the state will look at opportunities to transfer the hospital to a new operator. And both senators we spoke with hope this will bring Yale back to the table. But for now, in the studio, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
Stephen, thank you. Well, Rocky Hill police said a car hit and killed somebody who was crossing the Silas Deane Highway yesterday, a very busy road. And they said it happened while it was dark out, around 5:30 p.m. They said the car hit that person near the AutoZone and Liberty Bank. Police said the victim later died at a hospital. And they said the driver stayed at the scene to cooperate with the investigation.
State police are investigating a pedestrian crash that happened on Interstate 91 in Hartford yesterday morning. Troopers tell us a car hit a person as they were trying to cross the highway. This all happened around 2:30 a.m. in the northbound lanes near the exit for the Charter Oak Bridge. The person was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Two cars collided on Interstate 95 in Milford. This happened around 2 yesterday morning in the southbound lanes near the exit for Bridgeport Avenue. We are told there were minor injuries. This morning it is not clear what caused the crash.
Firefighters in Fairfield responded to a chimney fire over the weekend. That was on Dogwood Lane Saturday night. Firefighters say when they got there, they found heavy smoke coming from the chimney and parts of the roof. Thankfully, nobody was home when the fire happened. It took firefighters about an hour to put the fire out, and nobody was hurt. Officials are still investigating how it started.